Okay, so we are in chapter number 5, Sanyasa Yoga. In that, we have finished up to shloka number 15. And we will continue from there today. And so, in just a brief context, what we said in the Sanyasa Yoga, so as Bhagavan said from the start, that he wanted to direct Arjuna towards the Vidvat Sanyasa. Vidvat Sanyasa, that is what is applicable to most of us, not the Vividisha Sanyasam. That is, Vividisha Sanyasa is the one that is ashrama, that is going through the proper monastic order. And in that, so he even praised this particular Vidvat Sanyasa. And in that, as he was also coming in the last class, whether it be Vidvat Sanyasam or Vididisha Sanyasa, in the both of them, the knowledge, absolute knowledge is the one that is for the jnana dwara eva moksham prapyate. Only through that jnanam. And to emphasize that particular jnanam, which is an abstract one terminology in terms of is because it's absolute knowledge. If it is a relative knowledge, as we all know in our daily walks of life, whatever we know about any objects, any science in this world, they are objective knowledge. Whereas this is a subjective knowledge. And the subjective knowledge is being acquired by the subject on the subject. And the subject is Atma. And only thing is relatively that subject is fixing up that absolute context in a relative manner, because it cannot be subjectified unless it is fixed into a relative manner. So that is why Bhagavan is always going through different directions to say in the matter of negation, and that's what our Shastram also goes. So in the shloka number, why I'm getting that is in the shloka number 14 and 15.
You have to prepare for your test.
Where
That's more important.
Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna said about that Atma, 14 was Atma is not a karta when he said Prabhuhu. That is his Atma, Prabhuhu. Na kartrutvam, karmani, lokasya, all those things are kartrutvam related one. Kartrutvam means an action. So these are all related to an action, an actor, and an act, and every action provides a result. And he said all these things does not really belongs to the Atma, but they are all in this relative world of subjected to execution. And that Atma asangaha. That Atma really doesn't act, but it is all only a relative upadhi. Upadhi means this body, this mind, and another body, another mind, or another relative object in this world by which all these action happen, these activities happen. But in all these activities, the subject is really not connected. But we superimpose this connection because we focus the subject onto this instrument. Instrument, when I say this particular body-mind complex. That's what he said on shloka 14. And the shloka 15, he said, Nadate kasachit papam. The papam, punyam, everything is what? A result of an action. So that means from a consumption point of view. Or bhoktrutvam. Right? So in 15, he also negated that consumption part of it, which is the result from an action. So the results of an action also does not bind or bound the Atman. So Atma, that particular, so that's what Bhagavan wants to give, that particular knowledge. And all of our quest and our effort is to get that detachment from the world. We can never attach to Atma because it is you. You are always there. That is your standpoint. So what happens, Bhagavan, he says, why I'm coming to that is, he said in the last one, Ajnane navritam jnanam mukhyanti jantavaha jnanam ajnanena avritam tena mukhyanti, because of the avaranam, because of the clouding. Now, why Bhagavan says is, see, we are negating so many things in this, but when we come to really to know that, I'm not able to know. So there is a bit of for all of us, that particular struggle or a kind of an obstacle. So Bhagavan says, see, that is because whatever we are learning through this lecture, this Gita Shastram, or even from Guru Mukham, everything, they all come to a particular point. Afterwards, the knowledge has to be realized. And that is why he says, if you have not gone to that particular detachment, it is only due to lack of knowledge. When he says knowledge, we must not take it as this book knowledge or the other relative knowledge in the world, like how we acquire an objective knowledge. I'll tell you one very small example, which you will also understand in the subjective world. We have seen a lot of good doctors who have obtained highest amount of degrees. And those doctors, sometimes you have seen them, sometimes they smoke. And you ask the doctor, he may be able to explain to you very good about the nicotine poison. And he knows that I've seen a lot of doctors. Many of you would have seen doctors. So they have a very good knowledge about what the nicotine is doing to his bloodstream, is poisoning, it is blocking his blood vessels, so many things. Maybe he has operated so many persons himself from that nicotine poison. But this doctor, after performing that surgery, he will go out and smoke. So now the same similar example is what we are all. We know the nicotine poison in this world. We have learned through all the subjective matter. But still, we are not able to come out of it. We are not very different from that doctor. Only thing, so so what do we tell to the doctor? So what the doctor will say, my addiction is so strong. That is why you have all these things called nicobate, whatever. These things, I don't remember all of them. I don't know. Yeah. So the end of the day, the doctor truly does not have that knowledge convicted in him, because whenever the knowledge is very strong, because an action to get affected or not get affected, to get attached or not to get attached, comes from your will. Your will to do anything comes from only knowledge. So what we have to then say, the doctor truly does not have the realized knowledge of the nicotine. But what do we say most of the time? This is moham, that this is what I am. But what Bhagavan says, because that is what I am trying to say, mukhyanti, that moham is due to ajnanam, ajnana yena avritam jnanam. So when I know something is bad in this world, that I should not get attached, but still I get attached, that is because I have not truly got the realized knowledge, or knowledge has not been truly applied. So Bhagavan is going to give you a little bit more in this particular one. And every time again, Bhagavan gives you the upayam. We take the upayam, we do the upayam, but then we again, so there is nothing wrong with the upayam. What Bhagavan is going to, upayam means the means, the methods. So it is the application along with the knowledge, again and again repetitive hearing of the knowledge. That is why in our Shastra, for these Atma Jnanam, they say three important things: Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Meaning to say, Shravanam means hearing again and again, because the knowledge primordially comes through that Shravanam only. But the Shravanam, what that knowledge is, then it is Mananam, meaning to say, when you mentally cognify that particular knowledge. And after having repeated cognition, meaning to say applying it and saying, okay, today let me be doing like this and let me do it. So we have to practically apply that jnanam and see how we can we get attached or detached in the difficult of times, or start from simplest of times. And then once we get that detachment, we know, okay, then then what happens is, you don't have to keep on repeating the shloka or the verse for that. It will automatically build up. Then afterward, the book knowledge is mere confirmation of what you have known. So what is the most important? And that is why in Gita, and why I'm explaining this is, this particular portion is very important for to understand that only that knowledge, when we say knowledge, what is that absolute knowledge? That knowledge is yourself. You and the knowledge are no different one. Every time when we think that knowledge is different from me, there will be a struggle to know. Every time we know that the knowledge automatically shines in me. that the knowledge is not different from me. When I've applied this particular one in any matter of attachment, it could be the closest one. It could be our kith and kin, your job, your work, your car, any object, your house. Little bit leave it. As you apply this knowledge, you'll see. And when we leave this, what Bhagavan says is in all the chapter, cling on to me, because your mind needs to grasp. That's when the bhakti yogam, everything comes. But end of the day, that jnanam, more and more it starts shining, the more and more, that is when the mananam. Then the more and more of that mananam happens, it's a process-oriented learning. Then the nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means that in which you meditate upon. Meditate upon means that you are, whenever you are doing that particular your prayer or puja, or it could be even when you're going in a car or when you are sitting somewhere, when you really, or sometimes lot of time this meditation happen when you look at somebody else, when you look at it, oh God, I see how he is attached and now he is suffering. I may not need to be that. That's also a kind of a nididhyasana. It's a power of observation, as you have learned. So now let us see what Bhagavan is going to give you that upayam, and then how these jnanis then progress. Okay. So Lakshmi ji, can you chant after me this shloka number 16?
Yes.
Jnanena tu tadajnanam.
Jnanena tu tadajnanam.
Once more.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, once more. No, jnanena tu tadajnanam. Once more.
Jnanena tu tadajnanam.
Yesham nashitamatmanah.
Yesham nasitamatmanah. Yesham nasitamatmanah.
Tesham adityavat jnanam.
Tesham adityavajnanam. Tesham adityavajnanam.
Prakashayati tatparam.
Prakashayati tatparam. Prakashayati tatparam.
So, this delusion, this moham, how that gets nasham, that means how that gets dissipated, how that gets vileaned, that Bhagavan is saying. So what he's saying, tu, when he say tu, number one, but Arjuna, because we are still struggling to understand this avritam moham. Tu Arjuna, Atmanaha jnanena. Atmanaha means Shashti Bhakti. That is of the Atman, of your Atma, the absolute Atma. Atmanaha jnanena. Jnanena Tritiya. That is by that knowledge. Or by the knowledge of the Atma. That Atma, when we say it's a self. So you see, in our scripture, this is the beauty of our Hinduism. The knowledge starts from yourself and end in yourself. Everything, the world and the Bhagavan is in between. That's how the Advaita ends in this, because your knowledge starts from the Atmanaha Jnana. Atmanaha means what? The knowledge about me, about self, every individual self. So, what he says, tu Atmanaha Jnanena, by that knowledge, what you read through these particular scriptures and everything, Tat Ajnanam. Tat Ajnana means, Ajnanam is just the moham. Because we are trying to kind of get rid of a moham which is really virtual. But we are thinking. So, Tat Ajnanam. Atmanaha Jnanena, Yesham Tat Ajnanam. Yesham. Of that particular, that Ajnanam Nashitam. So only the knowledge, because the darkness, so same thing, in a room, there is a darkness, you can't drive the darkness. What you need to do for the darkness to go, just bring on one small speck of light. It could be a candle or opening the window. Right? So we are same thing like this. We are in a dark room, trying to find where the door is to open, the window to open, to let that light in. Imagine you are in such a dark place. You don't even know what you are struggling through the walls to find that door. And where is the door? Guru and Shastra. The minute we approach that Guru and the Shastram, taking that his help, and this is where Bhakti helps you. Bhakti is like Krishna coming into the dark room, taking your hand and leading you to the window. And Krishna says, come my bhakta, here is a window. Now you open it. He won't open it. He will take you up to the window. Then, because the knowledge is self-revealing. So, yesham tad ajnanam nashitam. So, by that slow process of, and then when it totally shines, there is no darkness. And then you find there was really no darkness in my room, and that window from where that jnanam was coming, that itself is yourself. So that's what Bhagavan says. Yesham tat ajnanam nashitam. Ajnanam nashitam. Tesham. So that's what he says. Tesham. In this Tesham, for these enlightened people. Tesham. For these enlightened people. Tesham. Jnanam. Here is Jnanam. Tesham Aditya Vat Jnanam. The Vat, it becomes Ij. Okay. Aditya Vat, meaning to say like a sun. Jnanam. So, Tesham, to this Jnani, the enlightened people, that is the person inside the dark room, having opened the room, to that person, that Jnanam, Adityavat, like a sun rays, what I was saying, that sun rays, which automatically is there. So, the sun, Adityavat, Tatparam Prakashayati. Tatparam means what? That after that, Tatparam, after opening that window. Ilu means itself. Tatparam prakashayati. It automatically shines. You know, so we all have that sun inside. That sun is that Atma, that is the self-effulgent. All that we are trying to do is, in that room, trying to open the door. And how that door can be opened? By the Shastram, Shavanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. And for that, all the Bhakti, the Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, a lot of the Karma Yoga we do, that without attachment, everything happens. That's what we call as Chitta Shuddhi. Understood? So that's what Bhagavan is saying here again. So again, these are the Pramanam portion. Pramanam means authoritative portion in Gita, which gives you that Jnanam alone is the means for the moksha. And that's the absolute moksha. There is nothing else except for this as moksha. Okay, Devina, you can chant after me. Number in the 17 one. Tat buddhayas tadatmanaha.
Tat buddhayas tat buddhayas.
Okay, I will repeat slowly.
Sorry, tat
buddhayas. Tat buddhayas.
Tat buddhayas.
Tadatmanaha. Then tadatmanaha. Oh, so let's join it together. Very good. So let's join it together. Tat buddhayas tadatmanaha.
Yes, tat buddhayas tadatmana. Tat buddhayas tadatmana.
Tanish. When this yes is there, this yes is a visarga. So it becomes like a naha. Yeah, whenever there is a yes. See, yes and this is and visarga are the same. Okay.
Oh, yes. I think
so,
you
so we say
before, yes.
That's okay. So tat buddhayas tadatmanaha.
Tat buddhayas tadatmanaha.
Very good. Tanishtas tatparayanaha.
Tanishtas tatparayanaha. Tanishtas tatparayana.
Very good. These are difficult slokas, so don't worry, you are doing very good. Gacchantya punaravrittim.
Gacchantya
punaravrittim.
Vrittim.
So let's break it. Gacchantya. So first take only up to Gacchantya.
Punaravrittim. Punaravrittim. Gacchanta punaravrittim.
Very good. Jnana nirduta kalmashaha.
Jnana nirduta kalmashaha. Jnana nirduta kalmashaha.
Okay. So here Bhagavan.
Shall I just read once on my own?
Yeah.
Tat buddhayas tadatmanaha Tannishta tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem. You're doing good too. Don't worry. So now, that's okay. We'll all get there. Don't worry. Krishna is there to lead you with your hand. Okay. So what Bhagavan is saying here, he says, everything for the jnanam comes from the buddhi, right? So what Bhagavan says is, tat buddhayaha. Tat buddhayaha means that known buddhiman. Tat means that Brahma knowledge. Tat buddhayaha means that one who has known through the buddhi, intellect. And the intellect, when we say that, see, this is what we have to always understand, because most of us come to read Gita, like, when we are like, when we have gone through a lot of life and struggle, and maybe the age, but for Jnanam, age does not matter. Lot of the time we find, oh God, when I was young, if I could have learned, maybe my buddhi would have been more sharp. I could have picked it. Not a problem at all. Because now, the minute we get it, it is very strong. Because that experience of life that we have all acquired in the very many years, that's why I keep saying, the knowledge that one acquires in a young or old does not matter. So never ever underestimate your power of wisdom, even at any age. Age has got nothing. Buddhi has got no age. It is only the physical brain which has got different age. Okay, so why Bhagavan says, Tat Buddhayaha. So that means what Bhagavan says, that one who has absorbed in this Brahman knowledge, direct perception within himself. He has applied the knowledge, and the knowledge is well endowed in him. Just not a book knowledge, or just a knowledge that, all the Vyakaranam, the Sanskrit knowledge and everything, they are only a means. But absolute, when the knowledge is self-reflection, that is when you see that person is so detached, so shantam, that kind of a thing. So tad buddhayaha, which happens with that person, tad buddhaya, that realized person who was so well endowed, convicted knowledge that he has got, tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha. So tad atmanaha means, tad atmanaha means, tad eva param brahma atma, that knowledge is completely not just known, that he and the knowledge is not different. As I said, tad buddhayaha, then people may think, okay, so that means it is a known. No, that knowledge and himself are same. That's why it says tad atmanaha. Because the knowledge himself is him, the knowledge is himself. He and the knowledge are inseparable. That is the second one's difference between Tad Buddhayaha and Tad Atmanaha. So, Tad Buddhayaha and Tad Atmanaha, he and the knowledge not being different. Tad Atmanaha and Tan Nishtaha. Tan Nishtaha means that he who has completely, steadfastly remains, and he can never be pulled away. You cannot say it is a temporary thing, that it has prakasham has come. No, it's a permanent one. And this is where, when I told you, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, these are the three stages. Tat Buddhayaha, Shravanaha. Tad Atmanaha, Mananam. By that Mananam, again, Mananam means by our self-cognition. Then only it becomes your knowledge, right? Shravanam, when we take first, the knowledge it is a knowledge that it has come to us. We have heard through or read through. Then when it becomes Mananam, then becomes Tad Atmanaha. Then when you do the Nididhyasanam, then it becomes Tannishtaha. So this Tat Buddhaya Tadatmanaha Tannishtaha, for that the upayam is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. You understand? And that is why he says Jnana Nishta. Why is it Jnana Nishta? That Nididhyasanam is so deep in himself that he and that knowledge is able to now execute it in the walks of life. Tannishtaha, tat parayanaha. See, this ayana, ayanam, that from that ayanam word is called parayanaha. So parayanaha means that first I'll tell the meaning, then I will break it for you so you can understand how tat parayanaha, Ramayanam. You see all the words, they all have the same meaning. That tat parayanaha means that is what his moksha is. So his gati means his lakshyam, his goal, not only is tan nishtaha, that he progresses towards that moksham alone. Tat parayanaha, meaning to say that his journey, whatever he is left back in this life, is only towards that moksham. Okay, that's what he says. So when we say Ramayanam, meaning to what? Ramayana means we think it is only a book. No, the meaning that is Rama eva mama gatihi. Ayanam means gati. See, ayanam has got 2-3 meaning. One is a house, abode is also ayanam. But ayanam normally means that gati, meaning to say it's a travel or it is a journey to destiny. Okay, I'll give you. So Ramayana means what? The Rama eva mama gatihi. Rama nama eva mama mokshaha. Sorry, I'm taking too much of Sanskrit. So Rama is my ultimate goal. My journey is to that Rama. That's why it's called Ramayana. Similarly, when we have, our seasons, we say Dakshinayanam, Uttarayanam. They're also Ayanaha. Meaning to say, Dakshinayana means the sun is traveling towards the south, Dakshinayana. Uttarayana means the sun now travels a little bit towards the north. That gati is the 6 months of travel. That's why it's Dakshinayana and Uttarayana. Now you understand Tatparayana Artham from there? Ramayana, Dakshinayanam, Uttarayana is equal to same Tatparayana. So for him, what is a Parayanaha? Tat Parayanaha. Tat means here, tat means what? Tat Buddhayaha, Tat Atmanaha, Tat Nishta become Tan. Actually, Tat Nishta become Tan Nishta. Tat Parayanaha. Para means what? Ultimate. So his ultimate goal is only that Atma. But he may be living, this particular realized person may be knowing as if he is going to America or he is traveling around the world. But his journey as he goes does not matter. You will not, but his ultimate journey is only the moksha, that particular jnanam. That is why tat buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tad nishtaha, tat parayanaha. So you see the progressive steps in that. First, Shravanam, then Mananam, Tat Atmanaha, because only when you do the self-cognition, the knowledge is really yours. And Tan Nishtaha, when he has applied the knowledge and he and the knowledge is inseparable. And not only that he is inseparable, his ultimate goal is Tad Eva, that is Tat Para. Param means what? Ultimate, right? That's why we say Paramatma. So Tat Param means what? That Jnanam, that Moksham Eva Tat Para, Ayanaha. Ayanaha means that he is what is traveling. So this particular, so in this itself, Bhagavan has given you the upaya. What I said before. And Tat Parayanaha, what happens to his moham or whatever he had from so many births, because this moksha does not happen in just in one birth. We have traveled many births. And that Jivan Mukta, when he get, what happens to all those things? Bhagavan says, Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. This is a compound word. Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha means take from the last one. Kalmasham means dosham or any flaw, any defect. And those are that avidya. That which has come from many births from where this attachment has come, because that is how we have been deluded. But how does it now? Nirduta means that he has got it relieved from. How? By the jnanam. By the jnanam, nirduta kalmashaha. That because of the jnanam, that is prakashi adityavat, that all the avidya, whatever he had, everything is vanished completely. There is not even a single tinge lingering anywhere in him. That is what is a jnana nirduta kalmashaha, any papam or punyam. Because he does not have any papam, punyam, sanchita karma, anything, what does he go attain? Punaravritim gachanti. Punaha avritim. Apunaravritim. It is actually gachanti, then apunaravritim. Punaravritim nahi. Apunaravritim. Don't take it as punaravritim. Avriti means what? You know, when we say, oh, how many avritis you do, meaning to say how many times. Puna avriti means punarjanma. But when you put it, it negates this. Apunaravriti, meaning to say he is never born again. So apunaravrtim gachanti means what? He goes into the state of not to be born again. Gachanti. So this is a yan sandhi. So gachanti apunaravrtim. Understood? Avriti means every time we start, like we say you do 10 times, you say 10 avriti, I'm going to means what? 10 times you start and 10 finish. Once finished, avriti. Second, same thing. This avritis, this janma is like every avriti. This is just one avriti that we are doing now. We are living. Then punaravriti. But what he says is, with this jnanam, apunaravritim gachanti, meaning to say, for him, there is no more avriti of being to be born in this earth. That is what Bhagavan says, gachanti apunaravritim, that ultimate moksha. Okay. Devina, can you chant after me? It's a very easy. This is an easy one for you. Yeah, I just want to teach Devina, you can chant well, so that's why. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne.
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne.
Brahmane Gavihastini.
Brahmane Gavihastini.
Very good.
Brahmane Gavihastini.
See, you're doing so good. Shuni Chaiva Shwapake Cha.
Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha. Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha.
Pandita Samadarshinaha.
Pandita Samadarshinaha. Panditaha Samadarshinaha.
Okay, so this jnani, this realized person, when he is engaging in the outside world, how does he move about? How does he treat other people? Because he's in the execution mode and he's going about. So how does he go? So Bhagavan says, look, he has got a samatva bhava. So this one is very, very famously spoke everywhere, you know, with Vidyamani Sampanne, where Gita says that treat everybody equal, that no, do not have any discrimination and everything. So that is very good from a Samanya vision. That is in the relative world. But here, Bhagavan, what he's telling is more from an absolute context of that person who was a realized person. How does he approaches this? Okay, so this realized person, how he treats, so Bhagavan gives different example here. This Panditaha means the same Jnaninaha, these people who have attained moksha. This Panditaha, how do they do? One is Vidya, this whole thing is one. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, all Saptami Bhakti, Lakshmi ji. That is Brahmane. Brahmane, in this one, when he says, just not a Brahmin. It is Brahmin actually, a Brahmin, which is like a Dvija, a person. Okay, in this one, he is considering different examples. One example he is taking is a Brahmin, a person, Brahmin. Now, why Bhagavan take Brahmin means this is not just like a normal one who has got a thread and a tuft and everything. He says, but this person is a Vidya. That is a very well knowledge person who is just not read, but he is also Vinayam. Vinayam means what? He has got complete humility. Sampanne. Sampanne means that wealth. That we say Sampati. That we say Sampadyam, right? You're yearning. So that means he has got the wealth of knowledge endowed with the humility. So he has got the wealth. This Brahmin is just not wealthy or anything. What is his Brahmin's wealth? Absolute wealth. It is a Sattva Buddhi, that Sampatti, which is with the Vidya Vinayam. So that is why we say Vinayam Vina Vidyana Prapyate. That without the humility, knowledge never comes. And that is why they say, how is the knowledge is reflected? With Vinayam. Vinayam means what? That humility. Humility is the true reflection of the knowledge. So this person is a very sattvic person. So he has taken an example of a particular person or an identity which is completely endowed with the sattvic person. So we all treat that person very nicely because he's very humility and he has got a very humble person, but he's so much knowledge. And with this person, you say, yeah, and he's also put him like a Brahmana because he's a very person who is only wanting to give to others that knowledge. And then, so this is a sattvic guna. Okay. Then Gavi. Gavi is for a in the Pashu, meaning to say in a cow. Cow here represents a Rajasic person, a Rajasic identity. So Gavi means in a cow. It is a Rajasic or Rajasic living entity. Then Hastini. Hastini means in elephant. Elephant, little bit tamasic is taking there. And more tamasic is taking Shuni, meaning to say a dog. So Shuni, and number 9, Cha Shwapake. Shwapake means one who eats a dog. Shwa means dog. Pake means, Paka means cook. So he eats dog meat. That's fine. He says, Shwapake cha eva SamaDarshinaha. He just got only one single vision on all of them. He does not differentiate whether this person is a maybe, when we say not that any low grade, but the person who is not able to, is very poor, or is not coming to a very environment doesn't suit him. His mother and daughter has fed him the same meat or same thing, so he is having that meat. From those days it has been there. So from these Gita, you can see that people were eating dog. But what Krishna's thing is here to say that is, even with his, whether it's a person of a very highly endowed, knowledgeable Brahmin, or a cow, or a elephant, or a dog eater, just like that for a word, Bhagavan is dog eater, he has got a SamaDarshinaha. He views all of them in the same equalities, an equality vision, because he only sees that Atma, Jnanam, that is Prakashayati. But again, these slokas, when we take this is taken from the perspective of a person who has completely attained that particular one, and that SamaDarshanam. And that SamaDarshanam also is a upayam in a way. What Bhagavan wants to say also is that if you are not a realized person, try to see the equality of the living Chaitanyam in all of them. Does not mean that he wants to go and hug a dog and, dog eater, come all of us, we'll all go have a merry-go-round because I'm a jnani, or because Krishna said. That's not the one. We need to be clean. We need to have all the, we need to develop a lot of sattvic guna. And when we are a seeker, the more and more sattvic gunas, that's why it's called satsangam. Otherwise it become a tamasa sangam. Right? You don't want tamasi sangam. You don't want rajas sangam. Rajas Sangam means what? If a person goes to enjoying daily partying, he has got wealth, he throws this, that's all Rajas Sangam. And then Tamasa Sangam, maybe that's also Tamasa Sangam. He goes into wrong companion, wrong. So, but we want Satsangam. Satsangam is a upayam. But what Bhagavan wants you to have is, if you say jnani, he views all of them the same. If you are a jnani, that like most of us that we are seeking the knowledge, have a equality vision of Chaitanya in that, but go for satsangam. That I just wanted to again stress that, so that we take from where the context Bhagavan is saying, because you will come across this lot of time. People will say, oh, in Gita in chapter number 5, Krishna himself has said there is nothing, all of us are equal, so you shouldn't worry about. Yes, you should not worry about it. That is for a jnani. I'm still an ajnani. I've got to have my satsangam. So certainly, please, I have to have my process going properly. So that is how we take this sloka in application to in the real life as for ajnani or ajnani. But for ajnani also take this, that he's only taking Chaitanyam. But we have got no dvesham. Meaning to say we have no hatred. That's fine. That sounds good for him. He goes there. Or he goes for a gambling, that goes for him. Let him go. But I'm not going to have any discrimination. Let him have. That's all. That's all Bhagavan wants to say here. And again, some more, the same shloka, he's doing it. Okay. Lakshmi ji, you want to chant after me this once last shloka for day? Okay.
Yes, I will chant.
Okay, thank you. Ihaiva tarjita sargaha.
Ihaiva tarjita sargaha. Ihaiva tarjita sargaha.
Very good. Yesham samye sthitam manaha.
Yesham samye sthitam manaha. Yesham samye sthitam manaha.
Nirdosham hi samam brahma.
Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Nirdosham hi samam brahma.
Tasmat brahmani te sthitaha.
Tasmad brahmani te stithaha. Tasmad brahmani te stithaha.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So here again Bhagavan says one more. Yesham. Yesham means of these panditas. This Yesham is equal to this panditas here. We saw, right? This panditas is what Bhagavan says as Yesham. So these wise jnani, the realized jnani is Yesham to them. Yesham means of these persons. Yesham. Of these, Yesham manaha. Their mindset. We need to say their mental faculty. Mental faculty, as soon as we come, it comes into the relative word. So Yesham manaha, their, you know how their mental approach is? Yesham manaha. Samye sthitam. Samye means in that equality vision. Sthitam means that is what it is remaining in. Sthitam means that which is what it is always remaining. Samye, that Samye is equal to the Chaitanya. In that Brahman, because he is seeing only the shining Atman in all of them. He's not seeing the external, this body or what his cloth is wearing or not wearing, or how that is an elephant or something, but he's seeing only the Chaitanyam. Can you see the Chaitanyam in everyone? Then yes, you can see the Samyasti. But for a jnani, he is able to see the Yesham Manaha in mental faculty, he is able to see the Samyasthitam. He is remaining there. Samya Sthitam, this Yesham Manaha. Manaha Sthitam. Manaha Sthitam, Manaha Napumsakalingam, that way it is also Sthitam. Sthitam Taihi. By these wise men. Taihi Iha eva Jitaha. Iha eva Sargaha Jitaha. Iha eva means what? In this world itself, while Iha eva, in this world, as he realized the knowledge, living in this world, Sargaha Jitaha. Sargaha means here Samsara Sargam. Jitaha means he has conquered it. Because of the equality vision, this he has conquered that some Sargaha Jitaha means that which is full of this moham or samsara moham, that may come and even afflict him, but he has won over this, because nothing of that can taint him in any way. Even sometimes he may be walking, that has come unto him, it does not matter. He has won over all of them. Attachments or indifferences he has transcended over. Stitam Jitaha. And then he, because he means here, because he nirdosham brahma samam. Nirdosham meaning to say what? In that absolute Brahman, which is flawless. Because Brahman is always flawless. So that means he is seeing that flawless, that whatever we see, when we do, and we just introduce you to maybe Devina as well. Devina, when we see an object in this world, when we see the body, its name, or its, the person, his father, his mother, or anything, when we say, what we see is called Upadhi. Okay. Have you heard this word Upadhi before? Okay. Have you heard Lakshmiji Upadhi?
உபாதி வந்து சாதனம் அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லமா?
Illa. Okay. Upadhi is okay. For this, you should understand Upadhi so you can understand the meaning. See, it's very easy to say, okay, you see the equality of Chaitanyam and go. But then how to see the differentiation, non-differentiating entity in the differential world. Okay. So technically, I will tell you. See, for example, Upadhi means it's a superimposed reality. Now, okay, we all have Upadhi. and other person have upadhi. That is why when I say Babu, I see myself what I see in the mirror. And I see myself as a man, and I see myself as a father, as a husband, and then maybe an engineer, maybe a person who is in Australia. All these things, this is all called upadhi. So truly speaking, Atma has got no gender. You have to go to that level to see upadhi. So the upadhi, when they would say a crystal, a sparkling crystal stone that has got no color. It's got no color, but it is shining, transparent completely. Then you bring, a nice hydrangea, or, a flower which is nice red in color. Then what happens? The whole stone appears red in color. But say the flower is behind, but you see that red stone, so nice, but you do not know it is a flower behind which is made this color. Similarly, that Atma is like the crystal inside. But what has happened is this body, mind, and everything is like that flower, which has made this kind of a reflection onto you, because you are seeing through mirror, because you are being addressed by somebody else, and that has got tainted into you so long for so many births, that you have now afflicted your identity into that identity, which is like a person, a man, a woman, or a mother, father, everything. That is called upadhi.
So upadhi is superimposition.
Superimposition, superimposed identity.
Superimposed identity. Okay.
And Babu,
எப்படி
am I
நினைச்சேன்னா, இந்த உபாயம்னு
sorry.
தமிழ்ல வருது இல்லையா?
That is different. That is different. Don't
இல்ல
confuse
நான்
upayam with
எப்படி
upadhi.
அதுல அந்த சான்ஸ்கிரிட் வேர்ட்ல இருந்து அந்த உபாயம் வந்திருக்குமோன்னு அப்படி கனெக்ட்
No, no,
பண்ணிட்டேன்
no,
முதல்ல.
no, no. Upayam means, whereas upadhi means superimposition.
Superimposition identity.
Upayam, upameyam. Upayam, upahitam. Okay. Upa is
And
tell me,
upadhi, if I understand it correctly, Babu, upadhi stems from the ego, that we seek such upadhis. We look
not
ourselves
really.
as
No, ego in a way. You see, ego itself is a upadhi.
Ji. That's
ego
true.
itself is a upadhi.
Ji.
Understand? So, in
It's
fact,
like felicitating.
In fact, the first upadhi is ego.
Oh, yes.
So when you, for example, when you have said that particular, for that yogi, that he has got to that particular, say, Atma Jnanam, and then, when he is then, say, after Mananam, see, sometimes you could also realize it a lot of times, I have also realized it sometime. Say, for example, you would be sitting sometime, and suddenly you gaze at that mountain or a nice pure lake. You forget yourself, and completely you would have forgotten you are a man or a woman or a girl or anything, and that you're totally absorbed in that lake and a beautiful mountain, and there is nothing bothering you. There is no hunger, there is no cold, there is nothing, and you totally engrossed in that. At that time, all the upadhis have gone away. And this could happen not in dream, in your real world. Sometimes you, all of you might have encountered. Then you have to wake up yourself and say, oh yeah, I am Devina. That's right. Yes. My husband Sadish, yes, he's at home. Oh yeah, let me pick up. Oh, sometimes when that happens, we get a bit scared, Oh my God. You can't, you get scared sometimes with that upadhi. When the upadhi goes away. But what Bhagavan wants to say is, keep that one, that is your true self. So, but what happens is, we can't engage in this world without upadhi. But that jnani is able to see the upadhi and still get engaged. So you see that level what he has got.
Okay.
That is why he says samam brahma nirdosham.
Oh.
What we are doing is dosham. Brahma is not dosham. But that is why I wanted to say, for us, that dosham or that one come. No, dosham means don't think it as a sin. Dosham means a flaw. In our flaw in our vision comes because of the upadhi. That's what I wanted to tell you. There's nothing wrong with me or you. because we have been used to long. But the thing is to come when we study these things to say, look, yes, this nirdosha darshanam, meaning to say the flawless darshanam, if I want to have that, I must slowly think that these are superimposed identity, and I am Devina, I am a lady, this is a upadhi alone, I am truly not this. But for engagement, yes, when somebody calls me Babu, I will turn, but I will act. But in my heart of heart, I'm truly not this Babu. I'm truly not this, whatever my relative identity is. I am totally, at that time, when the emptiness, a total vacant vacuum will drop, at that time you say, okay, Krishna, you are there. That's when the bhakti and everything happens, helps in those things. But then once we train ourselves into the all the time, then what Bhagavan says is tasmat. So Brahmam nirdosham hi samam Brahmam Brahma samam tasmat Brahmani tasmat te Brahmani sthitaha. So they are, te means what? That jnaninaha. Tasmat, that is why Brahmani sthitaha. They are ever in that Brahman alone. Meaning to say that Chaitanyam, ever shining Chaitanyam.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gigi.
And okay.
Absolutely.
So that is what Mana says. So that Samya Manas, for that we have to understand this Upadhi. That is why Bhagavan brought this one here in this particular slokam to say that, look, he still engages, but he knows the difference between the Upadhi and the Upahitam. Atma is Upahitam. That Upadhi is the other objects. So just that, don't worry about it. Upadhi alone, if you know, that's enough for the time being. Okay, that superimposed identity is where he doesn't get mixed up with as how we are mixed up, but we can slowly endure in the process of time, can entangle from the false identification of superimposed object. Slowly, like, for example, I tell you, say I'm an engineer or something. You get retired. Okay, you get retired at something. After 70 years, they'll call you, hey, hey, engineer, something. You won't even retire, but you'll say, I am retired. Who? Somebody else is calling. You understand? So you go into somewhere, say you're calling, you're some specialist of, say, rocket science or something, and you go, somebody say, hey, scientist, you're retired, you won't even turn back. You'll say, I'm retired, so he's not going to call me. You're going to call somebody else, right? Or so, that same thing, we got to retire from all these unnecessary identities we have. That's all what Bhagavan wants to say here with the nirdosham hi samabrahma. Okay, with that, we will close for today. And then we'll see more next class. Okay.
What is Upanidhi?
Sorry,
Upanidhi chonnele, the word.
Upahitam.
Upahitam.
Hitam means that which is supportive, right? So,
Oh.
Upadi Upahitam. The crystal is Upahitam. See, Upa means itself something to close by. Upa, right? That is why we say Upanishad, right? Upa means to go near. To go near. So, Upadi means Upa Adi. Meaning to say, in that something has come and close and shrouded it. Take it that way. Because
I don't understand. Upadi, how do you explain?
See, Upadi, if you want to break it, Upa plus Adi, take it. Adi. So something like, see, I should not be breaking it just for understanding. I'm telling you, this is not Vyakaranam. By grammatical, it cannot be split like that. Okay. So don't take it. But just for understanding, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Upa is a word preposition, right? It's a preposition. Yeah. Upadi, meaning to say, Adi means what? On, Adi, like those, like that. We say Adi Ityadaya, right? So Adi means what? In that something has come close and covered it. So Upadi.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
For that to happen, there is a
similar
Upahitam.
word vandhudu illaya. Mukhyanti and the madri kuda varum. Avratam.
Avratam, correct. Avratam is correct word. You got it right. If you Avratam is all Upadi. Upadi is nothing but Avratam. Correct. Now you got it. Very good.
Excellent.
Very good, very good. Thank you. We are getting there. See, I told you, everything is possible. Only thing there is, and you know, this knowledge what we get, Bhagavan Sri Krishna brings it back, even the next Brahma, next birth or any time. So it is up to him to bring it, and he will give. All we have to doing is putting these efforts into all these things. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade Sanyasa Yogo Nama